is, and before we of foreigners in Texas and stuff for who want to relax, enjoy, and maybe sleep a little bit. No, just kidding.
Well, today we're talking Proposition 8. That's the decline in value. And I know the gentleman to my right here, in the school district superintendent, is working. The schools will lose money, but actually, the county assessor, was it millions? I think it was close to it in property assessments. Yeah, positive tax roll. And can afford houses, they're paying those property taxes that are helping schools and so
taxes.
And when they start going back up, well, the nice thing, let's talk about down again. Not all properties go down because Prop 13 established their value, and if they're below what the current sellable is, what the house would sell at, they can add, they add 2% to that. So they go up, while others that have dropped in value below what's on the tax bill, then they're lowered. And but so we kind of keep both sides happy, and the school gets money out of the property tax system, and our state does. But Proposition 8 allows it, and we may enter this again, where the value may start. In fact, some of the ones that were bought more recently have started going down in value. And of course, if they were bought recently, they have a new high Prop 13 value, and if it drops below what they were established when they bought it, if it goes below that, they can file a Prop 8 decline in value for them, and we may be able to temporarily lower their value until things start going back up again. And then, of course, we restore it, and then they're back under Prop 13 again. Mm-hmm. So I want everybody to check your tax bill again. Make sure it's not that much, but it's still a homeowner's exemption. If you have from he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people with mobile homes that I know of. And if it was not tax roll, it was before your what I call the DMV roll, and keep that. It used to be in the old days, if you didn't keep that up, you went on the tax roll. And then they created legislation where they could go back and forward. Back. Now I think they leave it on the DMV roll, which is what they should do. Yes.
And for Charity Kuiper Mobile Home Residents Association, MRA, backwards, by the way, and we represent in over 6,000 residents, and we biannual review every 2 months, review and control ordinance, and of course, the town that wanted to, target the mobile park residents and owners of the mobile homes to pay taxes for the park owners, or pay for the park owners, or NOI capital improvements, the basis of how they are assessed. Changed to favor them. What we call the cap on rent increases. It's always been 4% or 100% of the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, whichever is less. And to 9%. Well, the state legal limit's only 5%. But because they all away, they sometimes know all this stuff, and they get things put to them and they don't know it. So, and with my together, we did some negotiations. We talked to the city council. And we saw the staff recommendations said and some of these staff recommendations aren't legal, and this is why. And this is state ordinance 798.12-5 or whatever we refer to the renters caps for all renters in the state is only 5%. So rent could have increased about $150 a month per mobile home park resident. And our population actually are the age of 65. And of course, they're on fixed incomes. I say they work in an economy of yesteryear. They earned their incomes. They're from an economy with $2,500 a month. You were doing very, very well. And tax, I mean, their retirement is, in taxes too, is based on that. So that was a very about the city council member and city administrator Jennifer Crawford. We worked together and came up with some great solutions. And by the time we were ready to go, and we had the votes on our side, and I think from out of town that are lobbying for MHET, which is the Mobile Home Education Trust, which is basically a park owner lobby firm, and another lobby firm. They didn't think we were active, and we were, and we surprised them, and we won and we prevailed. So, yeah, applause. But
The mobile homeowners.
I called because having some problems and stuff. The family couldn't make it in, and he's been substituting for the past week. And of course, we also had him come in when we went to the county or the state Democratic Party leader, former Democratic Party leader's funeral down in Los Angeles. A show 5 years, the Uncommon Sense Democrat, and of course he passed away, and we're very, very sorry about that. And so we wanted to go to the family and whatnot. So we did that, and Eric went, and Eric Sanchez went, and I went, and it was a very nice service, and we'll miss Eric. So that's and into the meat and the potatoes of the show. Do you mind?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Every June.
Oh, yeah, 17th. So what's
And then the day after that.
it's the last day of June?
Well,
I don't. We just had yours.
you early. The case. And it's today from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Alpine Park, and that's on Little League Drive in San Bernardino, up by Marshall, up as you go up over the hill of Shannon Hills. It's 64 Little League Drive. I told them I would.
It's got, is it and out there? Statue?
No, that's in Little League. That's further down. But people's there too. That's Little League. No registration, no money. Just come celebrate the community. It's the LGBTQ and a whole bunch of other alphabet letters. And of course, we're here. They've got all kinds of things. They've got shows. We've got DJs. Sponsored by St. John's Community Health, Planned Parenthood, and Options for Youth. Neil Miller and Robert Berriman are sponsoring that. And it's all about and the Family Assistance Program. Some fun, that would be a good thing. So, is there anything else you'd like to add?
You know, I was looking at this Teamsters 32 because I'm a member. And I just noticed movie theaters. And I go there on Sunday afternoon with my son. Mm-hmm. I didn't know they gave. I knew you could buy tickets to. This has been available, and I just noticed that Harkin is only $10.
Okay.
I have to see whether I get it cheaper or not. I get a military discount, so.
We're gonna 50 AM, 106.5 FM, and so many stories, so many complaints. There's so much bad information online about systems, and of course, demonize them. And of course, the victims are educators, the people who work so hard to educate children and teachers, and you know, the past bad test scores, some problems in our schools, and of course, there's no perfect school system. And there's 837,690 students in the state of California.
That's right about it.
Anyway, I knew, but he's been here for a couple of years. The San Unified School District, Marie, and it's
Great to be here.
The Cardinal. We'll do a little fist pump for that one.
Yes, sir.
2023, he became the superintendent of schools of the San Bernardino Unified School District. He was selected by the Board of Education in February of 2023 in a unanimous vote. We were all glad to have him, and his appointment as superintendent was a homecoming. I'm sure it was. And when I ran into you with the Teamsters Union building, and he has a student for the Teamsters, and you went, that guy looks familiar. I said, who is that? And they said, I said, oh, yeah, I went to high school with him, so it was good. I said in the back of my mind, wait a minute, Randy was from Fontana. I'm going to bring him in here and have a guy interview him. And then coincidentally, San Diego High School Association luncheon, where you were giving a dynamite presentation. I says, we have to bring him in here and let him talk about our school, because the positive message here is they're doing dynamite. They're doing really, really well. And one of the key indicators, if you look around San Bernardino, I was looking at schools, and they're aging schools, and sometimes challenged neighborhoods, and they're getting dirty and run down. And one of the things that you've done so well, and I look all the school, I can see the San Bernardino school by the colors, by the design. You really improved and painted up and cleaned up and refreshed up. So congratulations on that.
And we're doing our part to beautify the city of San Bernardino.
These neighborhoods, like you go to Street, 1850 Southeast Street. I don't know why I remember that. Put plenty of job applications and resumes and stuff. So the San Bernardino High School has a totally dynamic look. Even the D building, I believe. You painted, which was the bid brick edifice, and then you painted everything, the administration building. I haven't yet walked into the campus,
Well, I'm happy to give you a tour, but we've been very intentional that we want our schools to look and feel like a college campus. And so we want our kids to be proud of the halls of their schools, and we want our community to drive and say great things are happening in those schools.
And the auditorium has been redone.
Yes, sir.
And retrofitted, made more up to date.
Yes, that was in the making. Beautiful. We kept some of the old look and support some of the more modern look. So it's really a nice blend of the two.
I'd love to see it. Cardinal radio station, KARD back in the day. I don't know if it exists anymore. I'd love to get started again if it did.
Well, I think you and I have the same memories of being out in the quad at lunch and music playing through the speakers from Mr. Will, I believe, was a teacher. So
yeah.
That would be great to bring back.
Yeah, he was my teacher too. He was the band instructor back in the day. Yeah. And it was a little balcony almost area of the auditorium. Yeah. No conditioning, nothing in there. But, we had some husbands who would go on there at lunchtime and they'd, spin records or whatever back in the day.
Yes, sir.
I got to tell you, I just turned 62, and that was sort of 1980, 81. It was a little, we're gonna get something going.
Let's do it.
I'd love to get some into training program, and they're on board too. And I didn't tell you this because I didn't have the opportunity. We're to talk about bringing in Sierra High School students in here. So why not high school students and start again?
I concur.
And you are a first generation college student.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's why education is so important.
Absolutely.
It's the difference between knowing what it mean or the different contexts, whether you're on the plane or you're on the plane in the air. And if you're looking at PALAIN or PLAIN, that's a different thing than a PLANE. Mm-hmm. And you're surprised the basic context of certain words that people misinterpret and don't understand. Or people walk around, words get too multisyllabic. And so education is so very important. We must find education.
100% agreed on that.
Yes. Yeah. And so tell us, how is the funding coming? I know there's been a lot of cuts. Are you running into problems or?
Honestly, we blessed. We're in good shape in terms of our finances for the district. Our Assistant Superintendent of Business, Terry Komnick, working with the board and working with me, have done a great job of looking at our budget throughout the years, making the cuts when we needed to, so that we have a balanced budget, and that our focus moving forward 2 years from now looks very positive. So far, knock on wood, the state budget looks like it's going to be fully funded, which shouldn't affect us very much. Our federal funds seem to be pretty much in the same amount that we did the previous year. So I think we're going to have another great year to provide our kids and our staff with what they need.
So, first of all, because there's been funding maybe 3 years ago, passed a new for
Yeah.
in education and funding of that.
That's correct.
And so, how is it being put into play in the San Bernardino Unified School District?
Oh, it's fantastic because, the art is a part of our vision. We believe that we want to provide a well-rounded education to students. So it provides ongoing funding. Instead of it just being a one-time funding, it's an ongoing funding source for students, especially, those of us that grew up in San Bernardino that perhaps didn't have the means to be exposed to art, to be exposed to music, to be exposed to theater. Now kids get that every day, starting from kindergarten all the way through high school. So that funding is extremely necessary for our students.
When I went to high school, we had a band with 115 people in it. There was 115 musicians, and then we had a drum team of about 50 or 65 behind it, and support things and flag twirlers and everything else. We came down. It was the big group machine. We came down the street. There was a thunder.
Yeah.
We go down F Street every day, and we used to march by the tent to get, and stop and watch us every day. They would watch us. We had a program every day, and we represented the school district. We marched at the National Orange Show. We were just having a good time, and all of our uniforms paid for, the bus paid for. We didn't have to pay for anything. I think we bought our shoes and polished them, and then had to keep our uniforms clean. But the main was that it produced Tim Prince. And I ran for state assembly twice. I've had some leadership roles here and there. That come out of San Bernardino High School, and particularly in that music program. And we school together, and was there, and that kind of faded out for an era. And there wasn't money. Parents had to rent band instruments. There wasn't money for band instrument repair. There wasn't money for new uniforms. And, of course, there wasn't money a lot of times to fund teachers and everything else. And, of course it showed the program, and that showed college programs and local college programs. And it was just kind of shining district that even symphony orchestras, kind of fade into distance. I think coming back, is it?
Absolutely. So this board of education shares that same philosophy you just shared. Our kids should not pay for anything. And they want our kids to have the best of the best, whether it's the uniform, whether it's the instrument. So these last couple of years, one of our objectives has been to rebuild the numbers in our high school band programs. So after the first 2 years, every year we've seen an increase in the number of kids in the high school band programs, and then more importantly, in our elementary, middle school programs, because those are the feeder programs. But
Absolutely, yeah.
We're doing music workshop, which is
I've seen them.
I'm going to say the number one high school music program in the United States of America. I didn't, but we're making to bring back that shine to our programs.
And what ambassadorship for the Unified School District as a whole, and the top, echelon of the performers, very talented. They sing, they dance, they play instruments. I don't know how many I saw on stage. We had it at Uplift San Bernardino fundraiser. They performed at the Sterling Water Resources stage there, and I saw them for the first time there. I was just like, wow, this came out of San Bernardino Unified School District.
And Mark, I don't know if you noticed, but they were just inducted into the California Music Hall of Fame.
Wonderful.
So, programming kids from right here in San Bernardino in the California Music Hall of Fame.
Wow, that's great. That really is great. And that, and that's coming back. Well, the 605 marching band. Did you happen to catch them?
No.
Okay. This was any school along the 605 freeway down in Orange County and Los Angeles County was eligible to send their best students, and they made a marching band of probably not just their best students. It must have been a lot of their students. They made a marching band of probably 500. Wow! And they not exquisite band uniforms, but good uniforms, and they all and banners and everything else. And they performed at Disneyland. They performed everywhere. And yeah, look on YouTube. 605 marching band.
Great idea. Great concept.
And represented those school districts down there. And what a great concept. We used to have those honor bands and things like that. Of course, since fourth grade, it's my passion. It's my joy. I was in college as well. The high school band room was. The college room at San Bernardino Valley College was right next to KVCR back in the day. In the old hall, which was actually on the north side of campus. Now the new hall they rebuilt is on the south side, but we don't talk about that. About location, somebody named North. It was, yeah, that was great to see. It was a great ambassadorship, and I'm glad to see that's coming back. And the elementary schools, and the junior high schools, and the high schools, it's a discipline that and it creates music. It inspires kids to go to school too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, the research is clear. It does two things. It motivates kids to be at school, but there's also a correlation between the arts and being successful in the core academic programs. So
right.
That willingness is an important feature in our program.
Right. So, the attendant of the San Bernardino Unified School District, and it's a joy to go. And we'll come back and we'll talk about some figures and stats and some and what it's all about.
Yes.
We'll be back right on
This important time-sensitive message is brought to you by this station's generous sponsor, George Litchfield Associates, who has important Medicare information for all current and future Medicare recipients about some big changes happening. Medicare Clarified. Medicare is a nonprofit consumer service organization.
It's more important than ever to review your Medicare plan for 2025 from October 15th through December 7th. To find out if you're in the right plan for you, people are calling 951-769-0005. 951-769-0005. A popular and local Medicare plan is improving. Others are raising copays and adding deductibles. Biggest changes in the Medicare drug program in 15 years.
We thank George Litchfield and Litchfield Insurance for their generous support of this radio station.
NBC News on KCAA Loma Linda is sponsored by Teamsters Local 1932, protecting the future of working families. Teamsters1932.org.
Rescue Residence reminds area employers that too often our veterans and their spouses have trouble finding jobs. If you're an employer, join in on supporting our transitioning military servicemen and women. Bring elite skills, agility, and mission dedication to your organization. Hire smart and hire vets. That's from Rescue Residence in 29 Palms, where they are on the air supporting our veterans, those currently serving, and all military families. For more information, visit rescueresidence.org.
One of the best ways to build a healthier local economy is by shopping locally. Teamster Advantage is a shop local program started by Teamster Local 1932 that has brought together hundreds of locally owned businesses to provide discounts for residents who make shopping locally their priority. Everything from restaurants like Corky's to fun times at SB Raceway and much, much more. If you're not currently a Teamster and you want access to these local business discounts, contact Jennifer at 909-889-8377, extension 224. Give her a call. That number again is 909-889-8377. 889-8377, extension 224.
KCAA.
NBC News on KCAA Loma Linda, sponsored by
on the Williamson Taxsaver and more. Well, and underwrite these programs, and also the family assistance program right before us.
Can I talk a little bit about the program? See, the teachers got it, and so does, of course, a lot of we got 13 clubs, and most do give scholarships for graduating seniors.
Okay.
And here I noticed that here in the Teamsters pamphlet, they got scholarship opportunities too for the Teamsters Independents, and then they get tuition discounts for UC, Riverside Extension, Grand Canyon University, and Cal Baptist. So but the Kiwanis, they're on vacation I think now, but we have 9 months. We give Student of the Month awards, and the principals and the school and the counselors they choose who, and we give out awards, and they bring their parents and their brothers and sisters, and it's a big thing, and recognize the hardworking students, which also includes the Extension High School. We have 3 regular high schools and Extension High School.
In the city of Fontana.
That's actually in the city of Rialto.
Now, we'll be talking with Maria just there in a minute. I think when going to school was 4 high schools, and then it increased to another high school. Actually, the next year Pacific High School closed. Then it closed for a few years, and then it reopened again. Now they're completely redoing Pacific High School, and I think is it closed right now?
No, it's still open.
It's still open. Okay, and then the 6th high school. I think the high schools there's about 5 or 6.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then, how many
2 continuation high schools.
2 continuation high schools. So that's a lot to oversee. And this announcement real quick because I have to squeeze here, and that's from the city of Yucaipa. And this and as we get to the 4th of July, you might hear the snap, crackle and pop of fireworks here and there, and some shot in the air that are in. But fireworks of any kind are not allowed in and around Yucaipa. And the reason is because they have a new ordinance they just passed that makes it really expensive to fire off fireworks of any kind in Yucaipa. Fines against all fireworks in the city limits start at $3,000 for the first offense, $3,000, then $5,000, and then $10,000. $10,000 for each subsequent violation, and it's not but where the violation happens. And they don't have to see you, but if it happens on your property, in and around your property, you may be responsible, and no, they don't have to see you.
They got drones that can go up there and pick you out.
Yeah, and the police, the fire department, code enforcement, public works rangers will all be on the ground and in the air, they say, enforcing these fines. If you don't get a fine on that day, if they see you do it and they just can't get to you, don't think that you're going to be okay, because they're going to get to you, and they're going to follow it through.
Those drones take pictures.
Yeah. And if I had the Stars and Stripes forever, we'd play it right now, but announcing that one and Stripes family picnic featuring delicious In-N-Out barbecue burgers, fundraising raffles, prizes, fireworks, and community fun is going to take place again on the 4th of July. Tickets are just $30 for adults and $1, only $1 for children under 12. And it's all inclusive, including meals and some tasty ice cream. And it all the nonprofit YAPS, which stands for the Yucaipa Valley Animal Placement Society, which is a no-kill animal rescue group that saves dogs and cats from being euthanized. And of course, that always takes money, so they need to raise money. And this is one of the fundraisers. It takes place at the end of the school football field with the fireworks show, and you can go to that one too. And then you to come by this great event. The $30 includes per child, including an In-N-Out burger, some ice cream, some French fries, some snacks, some prizes, raffles, and also a dog parade. How wonderful. A doctor, they'll present some cats too, all for your animal loving friends. Bring a lawn chair, some blankets. There's a nice, big, huge lawn there. And they promise that he pooped there. And maybe it needs to drink some suntan lotion too. Relax, enjoy. It all starts at 4 p.m. on the 4th of July. They have free parking, so you want to come first basis so you don't have to walk too far. It's at YAPS, 11937 13th Street, New Kaipa, right the boulevard there in New Kaipa, right by the high school. And it's just west of the high school. And you can still purchase tickets on the YAPS Instagram, or you can call 909-790-1440. That's 909-790-1440. And tell me you heard it on this station, and you come to the radio station, my cousin radio station here at the station, 92.5. No one. And this announcement was given to you with love. So, no for it. So we're doing that, not paid or anything else. We're doing it because we like it. And the community, and we're so improvements. We the school.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Mauricio, do you have key clubs on campus?
We are just starting those back up.
Well, those are sponsored.
Yeah,
my Mark over there was a key clubber back in the day.
Yeah, I was the key club back in the day. Yeah. And for Division 6.
All right.
Top 10 lieutenant governor back in the day. And the school and East Street has been closed in a little section. You've been still on the outside. Are you doing it on the inside too, or just the outside?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're working on 3 projects there on East Street. So we're refurbishing Sturgis outside and in. Mm-hmm. We're building the new 3-story welcome and enrollment center that you see right next to it. Mm-hmm. And then right across the street, you'll see the beginnings of our new school police department. Our safety department building will be there. So we're doing our part to beautify the city of San Bernardino.
Yeah. You got to drive around a little bit, but I always like to look and see the progress that's made. When enrollment started ready?
Anything now. So we are actually waiting for a few more things to be done, but it looks like it should be done by the end of July, and we'll have a big ribbon cutting ceremony sometime in either August or September.
Well, we want it to be promoted.
Excellent.
And of course we will. Correct me if I'm wrong. I saw a demographic here of 4,454 students. Is that
absolutely almost 46,000 students? But
oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's just like the tide. Is that what happens?
Yeah, it's dropping proportionate to the drop that you see in the state of California. However, our numbers have not declined as large as the projections have forecasted. With all the new housing happening on the Devore end of the district, and a lot of the refurbishing happening within the city is bringing families back. So I think we're going to be in good shape holding on at 45,000 students.
That's good. With average daily attendance funding.
Yes, sir.
And our students, is that a problem or?
Yeah. So in 2 years, we have done a great job looking at the chronic absenteeism, which means the number of students who are absent 10% more the school year. So we're getting back close to that pre-COVID range. Pre-COVID, we were about 96% attendance rate for the entire year. After COVID, we were down to 88. We're just about at 92, so we're working our way back up, which does help with the funding, as you stated.
Lots of big challenges. This demographic, I see 89.9% English learners.
Yep.
So almost the whole amount of people are English as a second language, and they're English learners, and you have to teach them.
Yep. And the beauty is something positive. San Bernardino City Unified School District is the leading school district in dual language programs. And we're also the leading school district in students that earn the seal of biliteracy. So just last year, almost 800 of our high school graduates earned the seal of biliteracy, which means they have to show that they're fluent in 2 languages or more. We actually have some kids that earn a seal of biliteracy in 3 languages.
They can prove that's. I actually had thought about like English as a second language for people who are beyond high school, beyond college, that want to learn Spanish as a second language, and having a certification somehow or other, and have teaching and coordinate a program like that that would help people get jobs and living around the language like me, I can say un poquito español, not very well. And I would, right? In fact, I'll tell you a little side story.
Okay.
I was for home parks probably a month ago, and they 9 mobile home parks out of the 41, which I didn't know what they were doing, and I was fighting it. I was organizing a coalition, and I went to the 9 mobile home parks, and of course got the papers flyered and everything, and we the community room, and they all showed up, and all of a sudden I realized, well, 3 mobile home parks, they all speak Spanish as a primary language. So I knew that the council was going to try to pass this thing, and I was, how can I stop this? How can I stop this? So I knew I had advertised as a public notice in the paper. It was all Spanish, and I knew, and I needed to speak, and so, and I had my little 3 comments all on Google Translate, and I practiced and I learned and I went. I spoke to one councilman. I won't tell him his name, Bobby Duncan. I understand you. That's not fair. And all the attorney whispered to the city administrator, and they went up there and talked, and they said, "Oh." Angry as could be. I don't know why I passed so quickly. And my God, we had a lot of speaking at the city council chambers, and maybe the Spanish language radio commercial and everything else. It was very fine to be able to
I'm
do
glad
that.
you did that because you're right. They got to have equal process here.
My name for a while, but I think they've gotten over it now.
That's too bad.
Well, you did what's right, and that's what's
Yes, you
important.
Like you. So bless his soul, but figure 90% English learners, and that's a lot. That's a lot of challenges for our teachers. And how do you overcome that? What are the programs that overcome it?
Really, we the mindset is we look at that as a plus to our district. And we have amazing teachers every day that work hard to go to different trainings to learn the different strategies it takes to teach students to learn a new language, and at the same time keep their original language. It's a work, I'm not going to lie. But like I said, the proof's in the pudding with the number of kids earning the seal of biliteracy, the number of EL kids that are graduating from high school, the number of EL kids that
means English learners.
English learners,
Yeah.
thank you. The number of kids that are going to post high school education, our teachers are getting it done. I'm very proud of them. It's not easy, but they put in the work, and I appreciate that.
And that means you have talented teachers. Number one, you have compassionate teachers, passionate teachers, and teachers who love their jobs.
Absolutely.
And that's the key recipes for all of it.
Yep.
It's not the clock punchers that go in and, they have to be there at 7 in the morning and wait till 7:01, punch the clock, and they're standing there at the clock at, 3:34, punching the clock. That's not the
Yep.
type of educators.
Now we have Brian Burke type of teachers, and you'll know what that is. So
Best teachers ever, a history teacher, U.S. history teacher. Somebody on the line, I don't know who that is. Okay. Oh, that's the next show. What's going on? Well, we'll take that caller maybe. Screen, but yeah, we had Jan Eby. We had some good teachers back in the day. The math app. We had in the day. Me, math. I'm an easy math student. I was challenged, and I don't know why. Probably because I didn't have some
Geometry.
all of it. I went on to do engineering. But, I had who made the difference. Was his name, Coach Arnold. He did that. We had Mrs. Taylor back in the day. I had nothing to do with that.
you're right.
Yeah,
Sworn secrecy.
You get metal ball, Allen wrench. You to the thing,
Well, just in case. Now they're
That's pretty funny. And I really, other than maybe some, this is how you probably want to do this. I didn't actually do it, but some fun stuff in high school. It was quite an educational experience. My brother graduated from San Bernardino High School. My nephew graduated from San Bernardino High School. Some of my other nieces and nephews graduated. I had one cousin graduated, and his name is James Hunt. James P. Hunt from the United States Air Force. He is now retired, but he is a 4-star brigadier general. The 11th Air Wing Command, and the 11th Air Wing Command is the command that's in charge of the president's plane.
Oh my goodness!
And the president, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So distinguished graduate. One of these days we'll have to.
Absolutely. I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, and he lives in Payson, Arizona now. But he's a flight instructor, and he flies into Upland a lot. So maybe we can arrange that.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great.
Yeah. And he's in the city.
Oh, really? He was one of the mayors, huh?
He was one. I think it was 71 or I think 70 or 71. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and then he and his other brothers, 3 brothers, who are all Congressman Jerry Lewis, not the funny one, Jerry Lewis, to the Academy.
Oh wow!
And Elliot, his mother and my aunt was president of the school board.
Oh my goodness!
That was way back when. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a great, rich history.
Yeah. So I have a rich history with the school district.
And please thank them for their service.
My mother,
but to the schools.
And my mother was a teacher at Golden Valley.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. So yeah, it's always a thrill to have you here, and anybody who's a superintendent of schools there, especially with your track record. We at you because you're one of us.
It's been to be back to work in a district that gave so much, not only to me as a kid, but my dad worked in the district for almost 30 years as a custodian, as a matter of fact, at Golden Valley Middle Schools.
My mom probably knew him.
Yeah, so for me, this is a great joy. I tell people I work every day because work means it's stressful. When I show up to work every day, it's just fun every day. It just gives me great joy, great fulfillment. So happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. And, as we move forward, and I'm hoping we keep you for a long time and that you're not leaving.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Do you would like to see enacted? Yeah. It's going to take a little work, but, a goal.
Yeah, great question. So, my ultimate goal that I share in the community is I want San Bernardino City Unified School District to be viewed as a serious institution of academics. That's my overall goal. And where I came from San Bernardino back in 2002, wherever I would go and people would ask me where you're from or what district did you work at, and I would say San Bernardino, the response to them is always a negative grunt or some sort of comment. Yeah. So part of my energy as superintendent is I want to come here and prove to the world that our students can be and are the very best and can compete against any child across the United States, regardless of their zip code. So the goal is to make sure that San Bernardino City Unified is viewed as a serious institution of academics. Now, with objectives, we want to make sure that our kids know how to be involved as a productive citizen. We want to have programs for kids who want to go right into the career workforce right after high school.
Changing lives.
Changing trajectory of lives.
And that's that's not wax over it. Changing the trajectory.
Yeah.
What could be going down another bad path.
Yeah.
You're changing lives, not just of them, but of their families and everything else.
Yeah. And then my other goal is I want to keep our brilliance right here in the city of San Bernardino. Yeah. So I'm currently working with the county of San Bernardino, and I know I've posed a challenge to the city of San Bernardino council members of how can we create internships for our students that are in career technical education, earning their certificates, and having them hired right here in the different type of jobs that exist in the city of San Bernardino. So our brilliance stays here, they build the roots here, our middle class starts to increase back again, and our city starts to elevate. So I have a lot of it has to start from a dream, right?
I don't submit too many resumes anymore, but I remember submitting resumes back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was, Lincoln Elementary School, right Elementary School. I went to Riley. You went to Riley
Yeah, I
too,
did.
didn't you?
Yeah.
I was the very first class in Riley Elementary School.
Oh my
When it was the new building.
Oh.
We got to march them all over there. We were going to the construction site back in the day, and we put a time capsule in that building too.
Oh, wow.
I think they've taken it out since
I'm
then.
sure. Yeah.
I don't want to tell you how many years ago that was. But Lincoln Elementary, Junior High School, San High School, San College, Cal State, San Bernardino. San was all. So I'm rooting you on because I want to look down a little bit and go, yeah. And educational institutions. I can tell you, I received a great education at San Bernardino High School and at San Bernardino Valley College.
Yep.
And the college professors that were doing some gigs at San Bernardino Valley College, challenging. In fact, when I finally to Cal State San Bernardino, I was like, these students don't know as much as they should. I felt like I was way ahead of them because of the experience at San Bernardino Valley College. And, I hope it's still that way. Are doing better, actually. But, I cannot complain about my education. It was in safe schools, in safe streets, and I want to see that return. I know that your schools don't have a crime problem.
Yeah. No, we've been very fortunate. We have our own school police force. We've done a lot of training on how to do restorative justice practices, how to build team and family amongst our kids, outreach to our parents who need support and resources so that they feel a sense of belonging to our schools. But back to your original point, right now there's a great synergy between the school district, Valley College, Cal State. These are three institutions that are really putting out some marvelous people. So there's great things happening here. I want to applaud Mayor Helen Tran. I know she's and her city council are working hard to do their end of things. So I think there's a what's going on here in the city of San Bernardino.
I see it. I see the, just around this building here, we're at 4th and Sierra Way in San Bernardino. There were 2 parks that were just ravaged, and now we have an $11 million park renovation program happening here, which is really good. And, down and the other way at Hernandez Park and Gomez Park are being cleaned up, and I see that the facility down there, the pool, the water's in the pool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll start to see kids swimming down there again. Yeah. And so it's going to take a lot of work, but a lot of people working together.
Yep.
A lot of people working together. He is the superintendent of schools at San Bernardino Unified School District. And
absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
You've got a good
I got a great school board behind me. They're work with a lot of synergy. They're professional. They have high expectations, not only for me, but for the district. So it's a good time.
But who's on the school board right now?
Mara Ceballos.
Okay. And
Danny Tillman is on his 30th year as a member of the Board of Education. So we have Felicia Alexander, Abigail Medina, we have Mary Ellen Grande, we have Dr. Scott Wyatt, we have Myra Ceballos, we have Danny Tillman, and then we have our newest member of the Board of Education, Michael Santos, a great team of 7.
Oh. I'm not sure. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be talking with you more.
I want to mention before we're gone about that 2 Kiwanis clubs, that is Greater San Bernardino, and also our new Kiwanis club, they San Bernardino. They particularly the new one has thousands of dollars of scholarships. So when it comes time, if they don't have one and they need one, they should talk to their counselor.
Of his own path. But I want to say something right before we leave. We got about 2 minutes, and then we've been supporting the Ravens Ball and arts and culture, and they have a young musicians program on June 24th, the grand finals of the Young Arts. I wish I could have gone to that, but I was at the Tartan having my birthday party. one of my favorites. If we all remember Jimmy Buffett,
Oh, yes.
we have Paradise. If you tribute, and you can experience all the classics, including Come Monday, Cheeseburger in Paradise, and Margaritaville. It all starts at 7 p.m. at the here in Redlands, and we also say here in Redlands because we're licensed in Redlands as well. Want more? Go to Redlands.org. If you want more on the same, you can go to SBCUSD.com. That's San Bernardino County or San Bernardino City Unified School District. SBCUSD.com. We thank Marie. And actually, it's July 3rd. But no, I just got today. And I thank from KVCR for helping me schedule guests. And next week, and
Protecting
I'm Chris. Democrat and Republican senators are exiting an intel briefing on the Iran strikes with vastly different takeaways. Tom Cotton of Arkansas says between the Israeli and U.S. strikes, Iran's nuclear ambitions were dealt a serious blow.
If you look at the whole span of what happened over 12 days, that's why we're confident that we have had an extraordinary success.
Cotton added the vital components within the chain for Iran to build a nuclear weapon were destroyed. Meantime, Connecticut's Chris Murphy says Iran's nuclear program has been damaged but not obliterated, as President Trump maintains. Murphy noted Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard was notably absent from the briefing. The Supreme Court states can now cut off Planned Parenthood's Medicaid funds. The High Court blocked the organization today from suing South Carolina over the matter. The state cut the funding because of the abortion care Planned Parenthood provides. President Trump is holding an event at the White House in an effort to get his big, beautiful bill readied for his signature. The measure passed the House and now sits in the Senate, where Republicans can afford to only lose 3 votes. Democrats say the bill cuts Medicaid and other social safety nets by billions of dollars, while Republicans say much-needed reform to the programs that will cut the deficit. The wife of the Minnesota lawmaker shooting suspect is speaking out. Jenny Belter released a statement today through her lawyer, offering her sympathies to the victims and their families. She added that she is cooperating with authorities as they investigate her husband, Vance Belter. The NFL is suspending free agent kicker Justin Tucker without pay for the first 10 weeks of the upcoming season. Multiple reports say the suspension stems from violations of the league's personal conduct policy following an investigation. The former Baltimore Raven, who was released by the team in May, is accused of sexual misconduct by more than a dozen massage therapists in the Baltimore area. Tucker's representation says he stands by his previous statements, denying all accusations. I'm Chris, NBC News Radio.
at 7.
Rice Fire Protection encourages listeners to shop small business and buy local. When you support locally owned businesses, you're investing in your neighbors and community. So before heading to big box stores or online giants, think local and invest in your hometown. That's from Rice Fire Protection in Moreno Valley. For top quality service at prices you can afford, call 951-243-6677 for Rice Fire Protection, where they are on the air because they care.
One of the best ways to build a healthier local economy is by shopping locally. Teamster Advantage is a shop local program started by Teamster Local 1932 that has brought together hundreds of locally owned businesses to provide discounts for residents who make shopping locally their priority. Everything from restaurants like Corky's to fun times at SB Raceway and much, much more. If you're not currently a Teamster and you want access to these local business discounts, contact Jennifer at 909-889-8377, extension 224. Give her a call. That number again is 909-889-8377, extension 224.
Rescue Residence reminds area employers that too often our veterans and their spouses have trouble finding jobs. If you're an employer, join in on supporting our transitioning military service men and women. Bring elite skills, agility, and mission dedication to your organization. Hire smart and hire vets. That's from Rescue Residence in 29 Palms. We're there on the air supporting our veterans, those currently serving, and all military families. For more information, visit rescueresidence.org.
Are you graduating high school soon and wondering what to do next? College is one option, but why not consider the high-paying jobs made possible by Union Power? Labor Union Teamsters Local 1932 is